Now in the second part we are going to answer the question related to these. So today also you are going to answer some question related to formatting, some questions related to calculation, some questions related to chart, and also if. We are going to review the if formula, VLOOKUP and COUNTIF again. So let us start from the beginning. Open the skeleton file and select sheet 1. So this is the skeleton file which I opened already, so you can open it, and here you can see like last week there are two sheets also here, so you open the sheet 1, and here this is the sheet 1 where we can see there is some value. Let me make it more bigger in size. Okay, so here we can see there is some variable like a and b. The value is a of 7 and b is 4. We can see there are some other variable like theta, degree and radian. These are the degree given. Okay, then there is another variable r, x, y, and we are going to calculate the maximum, minimum, average and total also. So let us start the first question, formatting question. Question number 1. Select range of cells A4 to F4, and we have to apply marge and center. So A4 to F4, this is A4. So from A4 to F4 we select, and then if we go to the alignment tab under the home alignment group under the home tab, you can see here there is an option called marge and center. So these are the options related to marging. For example, I want to marge and I want to put my text in the center. Marge means you combine some cell together. So if I want to select margin center, I will click on margin center now. So you can see the cell, all the cells are marged and the text in the center. There are some other options also like marge across. So you only marge, you don't put the text onto the center. You only marge here also, not in the center. And by using unmerge, you can get your cells like before. So here we merged before, now we unmerged, so the cells are like individual cell. So merge across, we'll see. So this is merged because I already did margin center before, so let us go to the margin center. The second one is the color and add borders to the cells according to the output. So I have to look at the output and I have to select some color and I have to put some border here. So let me open the output. The output file is this one. So if you open, you'll get a file like this. So the first of all, let us do the color. Now cell A and B, there is a color theta, r, x and y. These are the same color. So let us make the color here. Select A, B, theta, r, x and y. You know how to select it? We just press Control and hold it, and then you can select the cells you want to select. So now we'll go to the font group under the home tab, and here we are going to select the color we want, and this is light green color, so we'll select light green color. Now we are going to select color for degree, the radian, maximum, minimum, average and total. These are the same color. So degree, again you can hold Control key and select others, and we'll select from here the yellow color. Now the graphic of roses, this one we'll put the blue color. So let us put blue color. Now you can see there is some other color here, but these are not the color we are going to put here now. These are the color from conditional formatting. So I'll show you later on how to put this type of colors. Now we'll put the border color. So you can see the border colors are orange, and we have to put border in this area, and then a whole this area, and also this area. So let us put the border color. At first we will select all the cell that is necessary to put border. So from B2, B1 to C2, hold control, and then not from here, from theta, from theta and R, select it, and then so select this one, press control, then select X and Y up to 31. Oh, okay, so let us select it, then maximum, minimum, average in total, and this one. So after that we'll go to the border option and inside the font group, and before I make the border, because by default all the borders are black color, so I'll change the color at first. So I'll go to the line color, and here I'm going to select the color orange, and then I'm going to select all borders. So you can select, you can see the borders are done. Now sometime if you want to change the style of the line also, you can change it from here. For example, you want to make the line little bit thicker or different style of the line, you can also select before you put the border. So normally sometime we change the color, or sometime we can change the style of the line also. So whatever you want to change at first, then create the borders. And there are some other type of border like bottom, top, left, right, and if you made border, you want to delete the border, you can select no border. Now if you want a different type of border, you can go to the more border option, and you can select the type of border you want to select from here also. Okay, so the border and the cell color done. Now let us go to question number 3. So in question number 3 we have to format the range of cells B7 to C31 and E7 to F31 to have center and middle alignment. So B7, this is B7, so from B7 to C31 we'll select, and we'll select from E7, this is E7 to the F31. You can again hold the control key to select both of them, and then you put the center and middle. And if you go to the alignment option, you can see this is called middle and this is center. So you select it, then make the range of cells B7 to C31 be of number format with 1 decimal place. If you remember, in the last class we did number format also with 2 decimal place. Now today we are going to do 1 decimal place. So let us select from B7 to C31, and to change the number format we have to go to the number group here. So we can open the number group, the dialog box, and you can see there are different kind of format here. So these all also we discussed in the last class. So we'll select from the number and we'll select the decimal place 1. Then we are going to make the range of E7 to F31 be of scientific format with 1 decimal place. So this is E7, so let us select from E7 to F31 and we'll select here scientific format with one decimal place. So let us go to the number format again, and here you can see the scientific format, and we'll make 1 decimal place. Now let us see what is the scientific format. For example, if I write a number like 50, so what is happening here? This number is converted to scientific format. So 1 decimal, so you can see 1 decimal here, and it is coming with E. So this is looks like the 1 decimal place. And if I write down 50 here in the number format, we can see 50.0. So this is number format and this is scientific format. Now let us start calculation. So in the calculation, the first question, we have to use the radian function. If you remember, we used the radian function in the last class. So radian function converts the degree into radian. So this is a built-in function in Excel. So we'll write this radian function to calculate the angle in cell B7, and then we'll fill the formula to the rest of the cells from B7 to B31. So let us go to the B7. So this is B7, and we know that to calculate anything, to write any formula or you have to put equal sign at first. So and then you start writing. So this is radian. We'll select the radian, and the angle here, the angle will be the degree here written, so that should be A7. So we write A7 and then close the bracket, and we press enter key to get the result. So you can see radian of 0 is 0, and then we auto copy this to all other cells. So these are the radian value of the degree. Now in the cell C7, we'll apply the formula. So in cell C7, we can see the variable here is R. So we'll calculate the value of R by using this formula. So here we can see the formula R is equal A multiply cos B theta. Now what is A? As I told you before, there are some variable here like A and B, and then cos, we know that cos is a function, trigonometric function. So in Excel also we used in the last class, there is a function called cos, and B is another variable which is given here, and the theta, here we are going to use the theta. There are degree and radian, but here in the formula we are going to use the radian. So in Excel, as an input of a trigonometric function, the angle must be in radian. So you have to follow these rules. Now what is A? A is the variable, and the A value of A is 7, which is in B2, in the cell B2. So A and B are constant. Why constant? Because the value of A is not changing. It's only one value, which is B2. And also similarly, the value of B is constant. It's not changing. It is only B2, which is 4. So we have to use $sign like we did in the last lecture also. So you know, because anything which is constant, if you write any formula and if you copy, the Excel will change the cell address automatically. We know that. So to stop the changes, because these are constant, not changing, so we must put the $sign. So what will be the formula? So equal A is, so B2, let us write it. So B2, and we have to put $, so we'll put $, before the letter character and before the number, then multiply cos, open bracket, B is, we know that, C2, and again for the C2 we'll put $sign because this is also constant, and then multiply with theta. And what is the theta here? Theta is B7. So we'll write B7. So this is the formula we are going to write in the cell R and the cell C7. So let us write down here So this is the formula we write, and if you press enter, you will get the result 7 here. Then we can auto copy again. You just take your mouse pointer in the right bottom corner and double click, so that will calculate the value of all other cells. Now we are going to answer the question of number 8, which is also quite similar. So in the cell E7 we apply the formula x is equal r multiply cos theta. Just now we calculated the r, which is C7, so we'll use C7 multiply cos is the function we are going to write, and the theta again, because we know that in Excel we must write as the input of the trigonometric function, we must write down the radian, so that will be B7, and we have to fill the formula to the rest of the cells. So what will be the formula here? The formula will be equal r, which is C7 multiply cos of open bracket, then theta is B7. Now why I am not putting dollar in the C7? I think you understand, because the C7 is not constant, it is changing. So when I copy the formula in the X, and I copy the formula downward, and R is also changing, so we don't need to put dollar because this is not constant. Similarly for B7 also it is changing, so we don't need to put dollar. So this is the formula for X, so let us put it here, and we get also 7 here. So the formula is C7 multiply cos of B7. Now let us write down the next formula to calculate y. Before that, let us auto copy also for the other cells. Now in question number 9, in the cell F7 we apply the formula x equal, it should be y not x, so sorry for the typo, it should be y. So y is equal r into sine theta. So what should be the formula? Equal r, we know that r is C7, so C7 multiply shift 8, and this is sine, so let us write sine. So in Excel there is a function for sine, which is also sine, and the theta here is the radian, which is B7. So let us write down these formulas. Write down this formula in the cell F7. So you get 0, then we auto copy to get the result for other cells. So now we calculated the radian, r, x and y. Now we are going to use another 3 formula to calculate the maximum value, the minimum value, the average value and the total. You know that in the last class we discussed about the total formula. To get total of a range of cell, we use the formula called sum. So similarly, to get the maximum of a range, we'll write down the formula called max. To get the minimum value, we use the formula called min, and to get the average value, we use the formula called average. So let us see the question number 10. In the cell H7, find the maximum value of the range. So this is the range E7 to F31. So for this whole range, I'm going to find the maximum value by using the formula called max. So let us write here directly equal max. So if you write max, you see the formula is here. So what is max formula? It returns the largest value in a set of values. So let us select this formula, open bracket. Now here you have to select the range. What is the range? E7 to F31. So this is E7 to F. So I can select all of the cell that which is E7 to F31. So if you want to write, you can also write it by yourself with the colon. So you press enter. So you get 7. So 7 is the largest value of all these numbers. Now similarly, in question number 11, we are going to calculate the minimum value of the same range, E7 to F31. So let us write down the formula here, which is mean. What is the mean? Let me show you. So it is saying the mean value that returns the smallest number in a set of values. So it will return me the smallest number of this range. So what is the range? E7 to F31. It will return the smallest value. So you close the bracket and enter. So you get -7. Now question number 12. In the cell H9, calculate the average of the range E7 to F31. So here I am going to calculate the average value. So the formula of average is average. So let us write here, you see the average value. So we write it and then we select the cell from E7 to F31 and then we close the bracket and enter. Let us make little bit bigger. Now we are going to calculate the total. In the cell H10, calculate the total of the range E7 to F31 by using the function sum. Already we know that to get total of sum, total means we want to add some numbers, so use the formula sum, which also we did in the last class. So use the sum to get the total of E7 to F31. So you close the bracket and enter. So which is also 7. So these are the result of maximum, minimum, average and total. Now in question number 14, we are going to learn how to apply the conditional formatting. As I told you before, in the output you can see there is some different type of coloring in the X and Y range, you can see, and there are some numbers with the color, the background color, there are some numbers no color. So what is this? Let us see. This is called conditional formatting. So what is conditional formatting? This is called conditional formatting. Okay, so let us see. Select the range E7 to E31. That means the range of the value of X, E7 to E31. Then use conditional formatting above average. So what is that? Let us see. So let us select E7 from E7 to E31. Let me select again. So E7 to E31. Then we'll go under the home tab. You see, after the number group, there is a group called style. So if you go to the conditional formatting here, there are different kind of conditional formatting. So before I answer the question, let me discuss some other types of conditional formatting. Like you see, the first one is called highlight. So you want to highlight some cells based on some rules, like greater than. For example, I want to highlight in this range of cells, highlight those cells where any value greater than 4. So I write 4 here. So if I press OK, you can see it highlighted only those value which is more than 4. So this is a very easy, very useful option to highlight the cell based on some value. For example, here I want to highlight greater than 4, but now I want to highlight in with a different color. So here I can choose the colors also. Like I want to fill with green color, you see green fill and dark green text. So I can do that. You see now, these are filled with green fill, green color. Also, if I don't want to select the color, I want to select only the red text, for example. So here I choose only the color red of the text. For example, I want to put a different color which is not mentioned, so I go to the custom format, and from here I can select different type of font color, or I can fill with different color from here also. So these are the different options available with the color. So let us see another one, highlight less than, so which is similar. Less than, for example, less than 0, less than 1. So I want to write here less than 0. So whatever cell less than 0 will be selected. Like before also, we can select different color from here. There are some other options also here, like between. You want to highlight the numbers between some. For example, between 2 and 5 I want to select. Okay, so I can do that also. Or I want to see whatever number is equal to, for example, 6. So I can say equal to 6. So I can see there are no number which is equal to 6. Alright. Now there is another one that is called top bottom rules, which is you can highlight those cells. You can, based on some rules like top 10 item or top 10%, bottom 10 item or bottom 10%, average, above average, or above the below average. That is the one option we want. So now what does it mean by the top 10 item? For example, I want to highlight top 10 number, so I'll select this one, top 10 items, and here also it's not only top 10, you can change it. You can put like top 5 item, top 5, for example, in a range of students you want to highlight top 5 student, you can also do that. So you can write 5 here, and also similarly you can choose the color like I told you before. So this is highlighting top 10 items. Another option is here, which is called top 10%. Now remember, top 10% and top 10 item is not same. For example, here if I say top 10%, then we have, if you have 100 number, then it will select top 10. If you have 50 number in the range, then it will select top 5. So percent means the percent of the total numbers. So you can also select from here. There is another conditional formatting called data bar. So in the data bar, you can select, for example, gradient field or the solid field. This is basically the bar of the data. The length of the bar will be based on the value. The higher the value, the bar will be longer. The negative value, the bar will be towards left side. For example, if I select this one, solid fill red data bar, then we can see the positive number, the bar in the right, negative number, bar in the left, and also the highest number, the longer bar. You can see 7, and you can see 3.4, like half of that. You can see also here. So there are different type of number. We have, this is very like 0.9, so we can see very small bar. So there are different bar we can see based on the data. This number you cannot see any bar because this number is very small, like very close to 0. That's why it's -15. So you cannot see the bar here, it's very small. There are some other options also here. For example, the color scale. Color scale is basically we will select different color based on the number. Like if I select red, white, blue, so the highest number will be red, the lowest number will be blue, and in the middle all other number will be mixed. Like the middle number will be white, and then it will be like, for example, close to the higher it will be mix of red and white, close to lower it will be mix of the color white and blue. So there are different type of coloring option here. These are not limited only, like the data bar also you can go to the more rules to change. For example, if you go to the more rules, you can change more, like what type of fill you want, what type of color you want, okay, what is the maximum or minimum you want. So all this you can also modify. Similarly, you can modify here in the color scale, also in the more rules you can modify all these different rules, like 2 color you want to make 3 color, so you can select all this color, how you want to mix the color also. There is another one I'll discuss, which is called icon set. So this one it will put icon based on the number. For example, if I select this one for example, 3 symbol, so here the highest number will be getting this right symbol, this one exclamatory sign, this one the cross. For example, if we select that, we can see the number became hash because the cell is small. So because you need some more space to put the icon, so let's make it bigger. Now you can see the highest number got the different type of sign, the lowest numbers got the cross, and the middle numbers got exclamatory sign. So these are icon set. There are different kind of icon set also you can see, and of course you can go to the more rules and you can select the number, for example, what type of value or what type of icon, so you can all select from here. So like what is the highest range, what is the lowest range, you can select also. So these are different kind of conditional formatting. Now let us select which one we want here. Now we want here the conditional formatting above average. So let us go to the conditional formatting back, and here top bottom rules, and we can see the above average. So let us select it. Now we have to select the color. Let us see the output. We can see the color here is this one. Okay, so let us see, can we find this or not. So here we can see the yellow fill, we can see with the dark yellow text. So let us select this one. So these are the color, and you see it's very useful because it automatically calculates all the value which is more than the average, which is 0.14. Now let us answer the next one, which is select the range F7 to F31, use conditional formatting below average. So we'll select from F7 to F31 and we'll go to the conditional formatting, top bottom rules, and the below average. Now what is the color we select here? Let us see the output again. We'll select the color which is green fill with dark green text. So these are the conditional formatting we must select today. Now question number 15 and 16 is about the charts. We are going to make some chart now. Select the range E7 to E31 and F7 to F31 and insert 3D clustered column chart and use the style 3 and format the chart as shown in the solution preview. So let us select the range at first, E7 to E31 and F7 to F31. We select, we go to the insert tab and the chart dialog box and go to the all chart and we select which one, the column chart. See, this is the column chart, the first one, and we have to select 3D clustered column. So we have to select one by one and check the name. 3D clustered column. Now here we can see there are two types of 3D clustered. So let us see the output, which is closer one. So you can see this is, let me put it in this left side because we want to make the chart as like output. So this is more similar one, so we'll select and click OK. So this is the chart. Now the question told me we have to select style number 3. So if you double click on the chart design option opens on the top. So you can select the style 3. This is the style 3. Now we are going to make the chart as shown in the output. So first of all, let us change the title. The title here is clustered column chart, and then let us change the legend. You see the legend, the cosine and sine. So here our legend is series 1, series 2. So series 1 we should rename with the cosine. So how to do that? We did also in the last class. We'll right click on the chart, we'll go to select data option, and then here we can see series 1. To change this, we'll go to edit, and here we'll write down the name we want. So that is, we want cosine. So we write cosine, click OK. Similarly, series 2 will change. We want the name here sine, so we write sine. So you can see, click OK. So cosine and sine, that is done. Now if you just look at the left side, you see the y-axis number, that is from -7 to +7, and the unit difference is 2. So let us change it. So you double click on the number, that will open the axis option here. Also, it was discussed in the last lecture that you can right click and go to the format axis, it will open the same option. So here I can select -7, the maximum should be +7, and unit difference 2. So you can see the numbers are right, but here you can see the numbers does not have any e or decimal place. But here we can see these are, if you remember, these are scientific number we changed. So we're going to change it from scientific to normal now. So we go down here, you see under this axis option, you see the number option here. So here, from here you can change it to the general format to change this number. Also, if you want to change this to number format, which is also you can do, in that case the decimal place you have to make it 0. So you can see the y-axis now done. Now in the output you can see these numbers are at the bottom of the chart, not in the middle, but in our one it is at the bottom. So to change it, again we can double click on this number, y-axis number, and here it will open again axis option. So you go to the label, and here you can see label position is next to axis. Also you can change this to low. Now these numbers are totally different. We can see here the numbers are from 1 to 25, but in the output this is from 0 to 360. So I'll show you how to change that in the next question. So let us change it. So in question number 16 we can see use angle in degree values for the x-axis chart. We can see here these are not degree. So I'm going to change this value with the degree shown in our data. You see here 0 to 360. So how to do that? We have to right click on the chart, we have to select data, and in horizontal axis level we have to click edit, and then we select the data range from A7 to A31. So let us do that. We right click on the chart, We go to the select data, and then in the edit option we'll select the range we want. So the range we want to select from A7 to A31. So we click OK, and you can see the numbers are changed here, and also it is changed in the chart. So let us see the output now. Anything left? Okay, everything done. Now I'm going to show you some other things. For example, I want to change the color of the bar, you see, the columns. For example, these columns are color, this column's color we want to change. So if you double click on these lines, it will open this one, the fill and line. So you can go to the fill and you can see the color here is light blue. If you want, you can change these. For example, I want to make it purple, so I can change to purple. Similarly, if I want, I can change this one, this color, this line's color, I want to make it, for example, green. So if you want, you can change the colors, you can change the border, for example, everything you can change. For example, I want to make the border also green. You see now border also became green. So you can change everything from the chart option, but we don't want to change now. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to make it similar to the output. I'm not going to change it. Alright, now we can also make a lot of other chart with the same data, and we can change everything we want of the chart, the line color and everything color. For example, let me show you the line color. If I want to make another chart from here, like the XY scatter chart, for example, in the last class we practiced this type of chart. So I'll just simply show you how I can change the color. For example, this one. So I want to change the line color here. So again, you double click on the line, go to the fill and line option, and here you can change the color you want. Also, if you want to make the width of the line little bit thinner, you can do it. Like, you see the lines are thin now. If you want to increase the line width, you can do it. Also, you can change the marker color. For example, we did in the last class, we want to change the marker option. Okay, the size, the color here. So that means we can change everything almost. So I'll press Ctrl Z to go back to my previous chart. Alright, so this is the answer from question 1 to 16. Now before we start 17, we have to open the worksheet sheet 2. As I told you before, there are 2 sheets, so we'll go to sheet 2 now, and here we are going to answer these questions 17 to 19. Now first of all, let us see the data little bit. If you spend like a minute to see the data, it will be helpful to understand the question. For example, the first column we can see there is some year given, 1997, 98, 99. In the column B we can see there is some origin given. So these are the some places, origin and destination we can see, and the distance between the origin and destination, and number of passengers traveled in that plane. So these are information of a plane, of some planes, of some years. So, and there are some fare also given, how many passengers traveled on that plane and what was the fare. And now we have to calculate the plane class 1, plane class 2, and then we have to answer one more question here. So let us see the question now. Question number 17. Find the grading in the cell G2 using if function. If you remember, we answered one question in last exercise by using if. So today we are going to practice again. So in the G2, I have to write down the if function to get the grading of this plane based on this the conditions. So let us see the question. So if the number of passenger, that means what is number of passenger here? If I want to find the grading of this G2, the number of passenger is E2. This is the number of passenger of this plane. So the E2, based on E2 I have to find out the class of this plane. So what is the number of passenger more than 600? That means the E2, if it is more than 600, the plane class will be supersize, so it will be here supersize. If it is not more than 600, for example, we can see this is not more than 600, so there is another condition, else if number of passenger is more than 400, the plane class is large. So if it is more than 400, here it will be large. Now we can see this is not more than 400, so it is saying in the question, otherwise the plane class is regular. So we can see here the real plane class will be regular. So it will be here regular. Now the next one, also you can see this is not more than 600 or not more than 400, so it will be also regular. Now if I want to write in this way, how long it will take? Let us see how many plane we have. We have total 4597 row. So if I want to find in this way, it will take more than a day. So that's why we use the formula, and the formula we are going to use, that is called if. So let us write down the formula. I hope you understand this logic. If you didn't understand, still let us see this flow chart here. It's more easily shown in the picture. So you can see, is the plane number of passenger E2 greater than 600? If it is yes, then the class is supersize, so we can say simply supersize. Now if it is no, then we have to check again if the number of passengers more than 400. So we'll do the test again. Is the E2 more than 400? If it is yes, we'll say it is large. If it is no, we'll say this is regular. So let us write down the formula. The formula is given here, but remember in the exam this will not be given. The exam only the question will be given like this. The question will be given like this. The condition will be given. The answer will not be given. So be careful. So let us write down the formula. So you know that the formula is called if, and in the if there are three parts. The first part is about the logical test we have to do. What is the test we have to do at first here? We have to test, is the number of passengers greater than 400? And that means what? Number of passenger means E2. So is the E2 greater than 600? So that is the test. Now if it is true, then what is the answer? The answer should be supersize. So we have to write supersize, and you know that if you write a text, you have to write down inside the quote unquote. Now you have to write the separator comma. Now remember, in some of the computer maybe it does not work with the comma and you have to write semicolon. So I'll show you both. So comma, supersize. Now in the third part we have to write if the value is false. If the value is false, no, then what are we doing? We are going to do another test, and each of the tests requires if. So I have to write and I have to start another if formula here. So this second if is inside the first if. This is called nested if. So again the same way we have to write in the if formula. First of all we write the test. So what is the test here? E2 more than 400. So 400. Similarly, if it is true, yes, the value will be large. So this is the text, so we put quote unquote, and if the value is false, we don't have any other if, no other test, simply we'll say, oh, that is a regular flight. So we write regular. Now we finish the second if now, so we'll close this second if, and also the second if is inside the first if, so you have to close the first if also. So this is the formula. Now as I told you, in some of the computer maybe this formula will not work, because in some formula, in some computer the separator is different. Here we are using the separator comma, sorry, the separator in my computer it is in comma. In some Excel you have to use semicolon. In our computer lab, all the computer accepts comma, but I have seen some students' computer does not accept comma, so you must put semicolon. So at first you try with this formula. If it does not work, you try with this one. The formula, everything is same, only the difference is the separator, comma or semicolon. So let us try the first one. Sorry for this. Let us try the first one, because in my computer the separators are comma. So here we paste it, so you can see it is working. So the formula is this, and we get the result regular. So now if I auto copy, go to the right corner of the cell and double click, it will calculate the plane class for all the 4,596 plane. Alright, so let us now answer the question 18. In the column H, use the VLOOKUP function to solve the same problem in the previous step. That means here we are going to answer the same, the logical question, but using VLOOKUP formula. And we discussed in the last lecture, if you remember, the VLOOKUP formula we can use to compare this type of logical test and get a level. For example, here we have the lookup table given, so you can see the number of passengers and their plane class. So for example, here the number of passengers starting from 0 up to 400, like 399. So if the range of the passenger is from 0 to 399, the plane class will be the regular. And then 400 or more, it will be large. 600 and more, it will be supersized. So that this is that lookup table given. So we are going to use the VLOOKUP function now. So what will be the VLOOKUP function? Let me write here in the notepad just to explain. So equal VLOOKUP. Also maybe I can directly write here, because I can show you in the FX. Okay, so VLOOKUP, so we can insert it here. Okay, now in the VLOOKUP formula you can see there are 4 different parts you have to write. First of all, the lookup value. The value you are going to search, you are going to find in the table. Here we are considering the number of passengers, so this is the number of this is the lookup value of this table, passengers. So E2 is the number of customer, which is the passenger traveling in the plane. So this is the lookup value I'm looking for in this table. Now the table array. Now in this number of passenger E2, I'm going to search, I'm going to find from this table here. This is my table. the lookup table. Okay, so what I'm going to do, the number of passenger I'm going to search at first here in this column, which is I, and it is the values are starting from I7, so my table will start at I7. Okay, so this is my first column of the table, so the table will start from I7 now, and it will stop at J9 because I want to get the result from this column J9. Okay, so this is the table where I'm going to search for E2, and then in the third part you have to write the column index number, that means the column number from this table. So remember, this column index number, this number will be based on this table. Now what number will be here? So look at this table now. So this is my table. Now how many column here? I'm not talking about the column later, I'm talking about the column number. What is the column number of this? This column number is 1 and this column number is 2. Okay, now in the column number 1 I'm going to look for E2, and I want to get the result from column number 2. So here you must write down the column number from where you want to return the result. So if my E2 match here, for example in 400, I want to return that value large here in the formula, so I want to write 2. So here we have to write down the column number from where you want to get the result after matching. So if my E2 matches here, for example my E2 is matching here, I want to get the result regular, so I have to write here column number of regular. What is the column number here? This is column number 1, this is column number 2, so I have to write column number 2. And in the last one you have to write either true or false. Now here I have to write true. Why? Because it is a range. Now it is the, you can see here the title, range lookup. Is that a range value? Yes, of course I can see the values are range 0 to 399. You see the my passenger here 152. Now 152 is never going to match with this value in the table, but it will fall in the range, like 152 it will fall in the first range, so it is a range. That's why we will write here true. Okay, and if I am looking for exactly this number here, I must write down false. Now click OK. I can see, oh, sorry, it's a typing mistake. Okay, so I can see my answer is regular, which is very good. Now if I auto copy, I can see there is some problem. Why? If you look here, when I wrote the formula here, it was the table I7 to J9, but here it changed I8 to J10. So the table is shifting, and that's why we have to put the $sign for the table. So we must put the dollar for starting of the table and ending of the table, and then we auto copy, and you can see the values are correct now. Okay, because the table here is constant for all these of the plane, all the plane you will use the same table. So the table must, the starting of the table and ending of the table must have the $sign. Now let us answer the question number 19. So in the cell M1, write the answer of the question using COUNTIFs. So here we'll use the COUNTIF formula. And in the last class also I told you always use COUNTIFs, because the COUNTIFs formula will work for, if you have one criteria, two criteria, three criteria, any number of criteria. Okay, it will work for any number of criteria, so you can use count ifs always. Now we have to answer this question. So what is the question? How many flights in year 2000 with passenger greater than or equal 300? So there are two conditions here, two criteria. Condition means criteria. So what is the first criteria? I have to count how many flights in year 2000. That means I have to count how many flights here from year 2000, because there are 1997, 1999, 1998, 2000. So there are different year, and I have to count only those plane that was in year 2000. So I have to count only the column A to find the year 2000. So the first criteria is 2000. So I'm going to count which column? A. And I'm going to start my counting from A2, because I can see in A1 it is a title of the table, so we don't need to count that. From A2 to A, what is the last one? The last one is 4597. I have to count up to this row, because the year 2000 can be at the bottom. So 4597. So I have to count this whole range. And what I have to count? What is my criteria? My criteria is 2000. I am going to count only the 2000 here, not the other years. Not the other years. So we'll count here only 2000. Okay. Now with the passenger greater than or equal to 300, that means I have to count also not all the 2000, with the passenger more than 300. More than 300. So now look at here, the first one here 2000, but if you look here, the number of passengers is 298. That means I am not going to count this one. So this is another criteria here given. So I cannot count all 2000. I have to check with the passenger more than or equal to 300. So this is the second criteria. So in the criteria range 2, so what is the range here? Passengers, so E. So again I have to write here E2 to E4597, and in this range I have to find what? I have to find greater than or equal 300. So these are the two criteria. Now if you have a very large range, for example here A2 to A4597, also you can, I'll show you, let us finish that. It's 710. So let me copy this formula. I'll show you something in the notepad. So this is our formula. Now look at here, if you have a big range, you can also write in another way. Okay, so if you have a range very big, you don't need to write all the number here. If you just write simply from colon A, that means I am going to check all the data into column A and 2000. Okay, and then I'm going to check only column E for greater than or equal to 300. So this will also work. Now remember, if you write down A colon A here, you must write E colon E here. Okay, you cannot write A colon A, and here you cannot write E2 to E4597. You have to write down the same way you want. Okay, and like before I told you, in the if formula, in some computer it maybe will not work with the comma, so in that case you have to write colon instead of comma in your computer. Okay, so you must check if it is not working with the comma, you must replace it with the semicolon. Okay, so this is all. We have all answered all the questions. So now you can save the workbook with name Excel02, then your ID, and submit on the Blackboard. We have given another exercise here for your practice, so please download this one also, okay, and practice, because there are some more question given related to the VLOOKUP, COUNTIF, and the if formula. Also there are some other chart given to practice. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you, and welcome all of you.